All right, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, we are clear. Ready to go live in 5, 4. Cue the talent. 3. Hey, I said cue the talent. 2 and 1. Attention hobbyists, sports fans, and collectors nationwide and abroad. It's time to get hype. Come on. About the hobby we are all a part of. Live from the Mojo Break Studios, it's Dan and Doug. Check it out. Come on! So, get hype. Be hype. This is The Hype.
Fish, yeah. What is going down, everybody? We are back for the Hype episode number 47. And we've got a lot of stuff to talk about today. We got breaks all day. We got Finest, 2018 Finest breaking right after the show. We got some Classics NFL. We got an NFL triple case going down. Spectra NBA, Dominion NBA, Immaculate, and this weekend, Sunday, C-Rad will be doing Father's Day pack breaks, and I think those are going to be pretty loaded. So get in on that. We'll be doing some Father's Day pack breaks with, right now, the only one that's posted is Vertex, but there are going to be some Prestige Basketball posted, some Classics, and each spot's going to guarantee at least one pack of the Father's Day packs. And I think, like I said, they made less of them this year. They should be pretty loaded, so a nice little bonus to get in on breaks that you're already going to do and treat yourself for Father's Day. Michael Humanamanui, number 47, representing the show today.
Wow.
Try to say that one 5 times fast.
I haven't seen that name for a long time. And
Former Ram.
47 must be a tough player to find, huh?
It was, but I did, you know what? We do have number 74, that's backwards kind of, that we could rock on that for the great Joe Staley, which we have the break of Tier 1 posted with Joe Staley of the San Francisco 49ers, the 6-time Pro Bowler.
Sweet.
And I had a little drop there.
This is Joe Staley from the San Francisco 49ers. I'm breaking today with Mojo Break. Sue came up.
So there'll be some Flawless of him posted as well. He opened up a case of Flawless with us, Tier 1. He opened some Personals of Dynasty and Select, so you can find those videos on YouTube. It was pretty awesome. Good dude, collects cards. Bought a couple cases from us as well. Hit a 1-of-1 Mike Trout out of Archive Signature Series 2017 and FaceTimed me after. I was super stoked, and he's hooked. He was already hooked, but now he's even more hooked knowing that there's somebody near him that can support get him cases and cards and things like that. So wanted to dive right into the news that broke and the doom and gloom that's came over this hobby, which is Ohtani John.
Ohtani John.
Ohtani John. I can't take claim for that. I saw somebody on Twitter put that, and I thought it was pretty genius. So far, he's out at least 3 weeks. We don't know for sure if he's going to have Tommy John, so it's a wait-and-see approach on that. But
I would hold on to your Ohtanis right now.
So you're not saying don't sell them?
Don't sell them. I'd hold on to them.
Oh, let me go on eBay right now. I put all mine on there.
Yeah, hold on to them.
Oh, Jesus. What are you saying?
Relax.
Sell now while it's it's not going to, sell right now.
Right now is probably the worst time to sell.
Well.
Hold on to him.
Hold on to him.
Well, I mean, there's also a chance that he may only be out, and they're saying that when he does come back, he may focus more on hitting, which, let's face it, he probably should be doing that anyway.
So you don't think he's going to pitch anymore?
I don't think so. I think he may come in as like a reliever once in a while, like kind of what we were talking about before. You throw him in the outfield for a couple innings, and you bring him in for a pitcher. Then you throw him back in the outfield.
Well, he'd have to be on the National League team.
You do that.
Anymore.
Yeah, but you do that for like a what am I thinking? the interleague games.
Yeah, you can do it for the interleague games.
But I don't think he's going to be a starting pitcher. I mean, what is he more valuable as a hitter, or is he more valuable as a pitcher?
Well, a hitter plays every day, but I mean, a pitcher that can throw 100 miles an hour and strike out, can be pivotal in your momentum of your team. It's hard to say which one's more important. I mean, who's the most important person on the Dodgers? Clayton Kershaw, right? So that's a pitcher. So it depends on what guy. I mean, Bumgarner's pretty dang important for the Giants, even though they're kind of hovering around 500 and they just got him back. But I mean, a guy that throws that hard, has that arsenal of pitches, is pretty important to his team. I mean, that's one. The Angels probably wouldn't have went after him if he was just a hitter.
Well, if he has Tommy John surgery, does he come back? Is he throwing 98?
I don't know. I think it's about a 50% success rate on guys that have had one Tommy John, and some of them have actually came out and claimed that they actually throw better because it's a grafted piece of your elbow. It's like having a new arm almost. Now, the second Tommy John is almost imminent death, guaranteed. I mean, usually pitchers are gone.
A little
after
dramatic. I don't think the players are going to die.
So so to speak, not death and like you're going to die, not rest in peace.
You mean death and
to the pitching career.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. I'll clarify that.
A little doom and gloom there. I mean,
you die.
That's why the guys get paid so much.
Yeah. You get another Tommy John and you're dead. Like, rest in peace funeral. And then we start seeing rest in peace cards on eBay.
R.I.P.
Like we talked about last week with Dwight Clark. But anyways, yeah, I mean, the news has came out. There's conflicting reports. So people, how the media is. They're jumping on the fact that it's Tommy John. Well, nobody inside the Angels organization nor none of their doctors have actually confirmed this. In fact, the Angels are saying they hope to have him back in 3 weeks as a hitter and then integrate him in as a pitcher. So it'll be something to follow. Grade 2 sprain, they're saying. Grade 1, Tanaka had a grade 1, got shut down and was fine, didn't need the surgery. But some people are saying that Tanaka was a grade 1, grade 2. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
There's conflicting reports because people said that Tanaka was a grade 2 and he had a tear. Some people also have been saying that it was a grade 1. So there's conflicting reports on Tanaka.
And Ben has a good question. If he has Tommy John, do prices drop on future releases? Do you mean him in general or product in prices?
I think he means product.
I don't think so. This stuff's already been heavily allocated. They already have the supply and demand factored down. Nobody's being able to, that orders baseball products, is able to get what they want as it is. So I think they do that on purpose. They make less to create a demand. I don't think so. I mean, you've got Acuna, you've got Gleber, you've got somebody that's probably going to come out while I think Ohtani's value is safe at the moment. It actually might be better for people that are holding Ohtani long term to have this little lull in the hype. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. I mean, we'll have to watch future releases. I think Museum comes out next week. Inception comes out next week. Those are never really pivotal releases for rookie autos anyway. I mean, they're nice cards, and they do sell if it's a good player for a rookie. But it's probably not in your top 10. We already hit the number one card, that you'd want, which is Bowman. 2018 Bowman is the one that you're going to want to collect, his first Bowman. Nothing else is going to compare. So what I did is I took a little, first off, it was a whirlwind of events. We pulled 2 superfractors, or the hobby, not us. The hobby pulled the 2 superfractors that were floating out there, the finest one, and the Bowman 2018 got pulled. And then 2 days later, pretty much the news came out of the Tommy John. It was a crazy Ohtani week that got, Twitter buzzing, forums buzzing about card values. And that's why we're here to talk about it here on The Hype, is that it's a hot button topic, and we're going to give you guys our opinion on it and what we think. And I did a little bit of research on it as well, but here is the superfractor that was pulled. I got to give this guy tremendous amounts of credit and restraint, because this guy supposedly, this is how the story pans out, he bought 3 boxes or 3 or 4 boxes from his local card store like a month and a half ago, and he was opening 1 pack a day. Can any of you guys do that? I can't. I can't open a box and open 1 pack and then wait to the next day to open 1 pack. Hey, that would save us all money, but that's like getting an ice cream and taking 1 spoonful and putting it back in and be like, I'm going to eat it later. No, you're going to eat the whole thing. That's the same thing. So this guy showed great restraint, pulled this blowout, genius that they were. They got to run the story because he probably contacted them about the 100K. And also, for those of you that don't know about the 100K, it expired May 31st, so they don't have to offer him 100K. And the requirement was that it had to grade a 9.5. So if it didn't grade a 9.5, they were off the hook. And if it expired after May 31st, they were off the hook. They just got all the press leading up to it and sold a ton of cases. So I don't know if they're going to shell out $100K for this. Who knows? I know he's contacted them. He's probably in process of going to BGS and getting it graded at the moment, is what I would see. So we're going to probably see photos of this card pop out and see what grade it gets. So Dan said, what if they have a built-in clause that it's going to get a 9? You know what I'm saying? But we'll talk about grade. I actually have a little BGS report down at the end of the show as well, as you can see on the topic list. If you're watching it on video, if you're watching on podcast, thanks for joining us. And to give you a heads up, we do have a podcast. Just search Mojo Break on iTunes under podcasts, and you'll be able to find our show and listen to the audio version of it. So the Finest one was pulled as well. The Finest one was pulled the day of the release of Finest. It was just like right out of the gate. So I thought it was kind of funny. So there was a lot of social media buzz, and one person put, "No one's buying boxes now. Thanks for saving me money, Tops." So I did some numbers. So super fractor autographs are 1 in 8,112 packs, right? You can go back to that dude's face first. So that's 84.5 cases. That's $84,000 basically if you were to buy cases. It's 400, and then if you take the odds of 55 guys on that checklist, so there's 55 different super fractor autos on that checklist for that subset. So that means it's 1 and 438,000 packs of getting that card. So 1 in 36,000 boxes, or 1 in 4,500 cases to get that card. So I actually just compared that to odds in life. So in the next photo, you have a 1 in 500 chance of being born with 6 fingers. So you actually have a better chance of having 6 fingers than you did of pulling that Ohtani Superfractor. So nobody should go and say, thanks for saving me money, because you know you're going to buy it anyway. It's just, you're just trying to banter.
We can actually both use 6 fingers.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I got one broke. He's got one broke. So, breaker problems. It's also dating a millionaire is 1 in 215. So that's a pretty good odds of finding a millionaire, 1 in 215. So then you could buy all the finest cards you want. You don't even need to start opening up 438,000 packs to find it. You just find a millionaire and just buy it. So that goes for both sexes there. I just found one photo there. But I also found some interesting photos in life of coincidences. So these people were on a softball team together, and one's last name was Wu, the other one was Tang, and they sat next together. What are the odds of that? Wu, Tang. Last name Wu, last name Tang, sat together. What are the chances? So that was kind of odd. And then this guy from St. Paul, his name is Sergeant Paul Paulos, and he's part of the St. Paul Police.
It's pretty good.
It's like he was born. He was born to do that. So I'm just saying, I'm just putting it in perspective for you guys that having the chance of hitting that card is slim to none anyway, and you shouldn't be buying cards just for that card. Shouldn't be like, I'm done because I didn't get that card.
Talk about that all the time now. Product's dead.
Product's dead.
Product's dead. Product's garbage. Throw it away.
I mean, there's still reds. There's still, lots of value in Finest. There's still other superfractors like Jeter, Tomey. There's a lot of other chances to get big hits in Finest. It was pulled on the first day. We've been still doing Finest. Yeah.
Haven't really seen it slow down.
No.
So I mean, people are still buying it. It's just I love when a big card gets pulled though, and it's mostly on you see it a lot on blowout forms are just phenomenal for doom and gloom.
Yeah, and exactly. And Shep confirmed, because he's from Sacktown, so a California guy that pulled the card. He is flying out to Dallas, and he's going to meet with Blowout. So
Ben's confirming that Ohtani is going to have Tommy John surgery.
Link the source up, man. Link the source.
Bleacher Report came out and said something about it, but it wasn't confirmed. AOL ran a story that said he was going to have Tommy John, but come on, we're talking AOL over here.
Right. Everybody's there's been a lot of clickbait going on. They're putting likely to have Tommy John. Likely may. So they're protecting themselves as far as the story's concerned. But if it just happened right now, then breaking news. But like I said, I haven't seen anything on it other than alleged, like he may or may not have surgery. So I looked at the Bowman prices before and the Bowman prices after, and that's in the next shot. So recently, a card, Bowman first, and I compared pretty much two identical cards here. So on June 12th, which was yesterday, card sold with bids, Bowman Ohtani first for $838. 2 days before the news broke, it sold for $1,100. So that's a 27% decline. So we've declined a little bit because of the news, which is normal.
But you could also figure that more in the market as well. I mean, I know it's only 5 days, but the one that ended on the 12th, were there others that were
right? And you don't know when he ended the auction, stuff like that.
So there's a lot of stuff you don't know, but
or maybe it was the fact that the guy put hot card in the other one and the other guy didn't. I mean,
oh yeah, the
hot card
keywords, man, hot card.
So
cold card, you can put it in the top one, cold.
But so we've never had a player like this that's played both positions. So I want to talk about long-term growth, long-term investing on this particular player. And it's hard to compare because we had Strasburg. Obviously, that was a big bump for us. That's when we got started, 2010. Strasburg came out 14 Ks. The Bowman came out right at the right time. His card was selling. I mean, his super sold, or his 101 sold for crazy amounts, which is also pulled that same Sacktown place. And all of a sudden, he had Tommy John, and products just went down the tube. Well, he's a pitcher. This guy, Ohtani, obviously, as we all know, no one needs to tell you this, he hits any pitches. So he's going to have some Babe Ruth records, which he was already approaching one. I think first to 10 home runs and first to whatever amount of wins was a record that had never been touched. And you have to factor in the Japan market. These guys are going to still be buying it. These guys are still going to be, once he comes back, they may buy it even more. So my question to you guys in the chat, and my question to Dan here first, is Ohtani's card a good investment right now? Is there a window of opportunity right now?
Oh, absolutely. If you see a 27% decrease in 5 days, right?
Yeah. That's without actually a Tommy John.
Yeah. If he does end up having Tommy John surgery, personally, I'm a buyer because I know where the ceiling's at. I've already seen it. I've already seen what people are willing to pay for him.
Right.
So it's you really can't lose if it goes down 50%. If you start getting the Bowman autos for like $500,
still,
I don't think you can lose.
No.
Now you're going to have to hold on to those cards for about a year and a half, 2 years.
Right.
But when he comes back, what is he going to be? 27.
No, I think he's 23 right now. Right.
20,
so,
I thought he was 25. Okay, so he'll be like what 20. He'll be 25, 26.
Let me find out exactly how old he is. I want to say he was 23 when he joined the Angels. So let's see when he was born. He's 23.
23.
So, and he's going to be 24 in July 5th. So
it's funny that I'm saying that because I think that is the consensus with a lot of people, a lot of collectors in the hobby. So if everybody's doing the same exact thing, the cards aren't going to decrease.
Right. And that's the thing.
Everybody's going to keep on trying to buy them.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we're not the only ones thinking the same thing. I think everybody in the chat's thinking the same exact thing.
Right. It's the whole off-season thing for basketball, too.
Yeah.
Like, people are buying cards right now, off-season basketball. But if there's a lot of people buying the cards, then there's still demand there.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, I don't think we can compare this to any other pitcher, any other hitter. You could look at Dice K. He I don't think he plays anymore, but he was on the Mets like 2 years ago. His card still sold for like $30 because of the international market. He was basically a reliever. He was basically done. He was a hype train that had failed, but he still had some value. And he wasn't ever really he was crazy at the beginning, but nothing like what this guy can do.
I got a what if scenario for you.
Okay.
Just off the dome. Let's say 1 to 2 players in the next year come through a system and basically are pitching and hitting, doing the same thing Ohtani was doing and putting up ridiculous numbers. When Ohtani comes back, is it that big of a deal that he does both? If there's multiple players who are already doing it,
yeah.
Now that could could affect the value.
They'd have
of the
to
cards.
be Japanese as well. I mean,
why?
Because of the market, you have supply and demand.
But that's the one thing that separates Ohtani from any of the other players that are going to be doing it.
No, well, there's two things. He's Japanese. He's not American. He played in Japan, so he already had followers. and the fact that he pitches and hits. There's two things for him. You have an American, but like a Hunter Green or a Brendan McKay.
But what if they both come out? They're both two-way players. They both pitch and they hit, and they're putting up similar numbers as Ohtani, and they do it for a full year.
They won't sell as much as Ohtani will. They won't. Because he's a Japanese guy, so you have more pool of numbers trying to buy his cards. You have international buyers and American buyers.
I think if there's multiple players in the league that are actually doing that, I think it's going to take the spotlight off of Ohtani. And I know that his international market will be unlike anything else, and those other guys will not be able to compete with that in the way of market value. But I think that at least domestically, it's not going to be a big deal anymore if multiple players are doing it.
Yeah, but then again, on the flip side of that conversation, there may be less of that happening because they've seen what happened with him. So, I mean, they've already said Hunter Green, I think, is not going to do both, and neither is Brendan McKay. So unless somebody else comes up right now, besides those two guys, I don't think either of them are going to do that.
Well, if you were a GM and you spent a bunch of money on a player, on a prospect, after seeing what happened with Ohtani in the first, 2 months?
Right.
Would you throw that? Would you have your blue chip prospect be doing the same thing? I wouldn't.
I think you would almost want to ease him in, like have him do one thing for 2 years, and then maybe possibly. Hunter Green may be the only.
I would figure out what he is the best at, and have him focus on that.
Well, Hunter Green may be the X factor here because of the fact that he's in the National League, so he is going to get at bats no matter what. So if the guy starts so if you're in the American League, you're not going to get at bats, so you're never going to have a chance to prove yourself. Now, if Hunter Green comes out and he's a pitcher, he's going to have 3 at bats every 5 days at least, right? 2 or 3 at bats unless he gets blown up. He starts hitting bombs or he starts batting 300, 350. They may be forced to start putting him in positions. I mean, I don't know if he can play any other positions. That's the downfall. But he could be the first pinch hitter in every game. He could be the first substitution in every game because of the fact that he can hit that well. But we'll have to see. I mean, this is all on a level that's not Major League Baseball that he was doing this in. So, yeah, exactly. I mean, a lot of people don't sell international. Ben said, I wonder if those 2 sales were sold to international. I don't sell international, too much of a hassle. Well, you almost have to, and you almost have to do, if you're selling through eBay, you have to do global shipping. But the global shipping, the other end, the end consumer has to pay, $70, $80, and they don't want to pay the shipping on that because eBay basically guarantees it to be delivered and they protect you, so they charge a hefty amount to make sure it gets to them. And so you can offer it through global shipping and you have, a guarantee there.
It's also customs you have to pay as well because they don't, if you buy a card for, $5,000, they're going to put on the customs form what the card sold for.
Right, exactly.
$5,000.
So there could be tariffs on it and stuff like that.
There could be customs taxes and stuff like that, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's very tricky because we ship through eBay global shipping, and in a lot of our listings, we say we don't ship international, even though it allows them the option to do global shipping, and people get all upset that they're paying $80 shipping. They're like, why is it $80 shipping? It's like, we don't get any of that money. It's just eBay. So, yeah, it definitely is. But we use a company now. We use FedEx, which is door-to-door pretty much tracking. Using USPS is gambling as far as trying to get packages international. Domestically, you're usually fine, but international, FedEx has been great for us and fast shipping and guarantees. So, but it'll be interesting to see how this thing plays out with Ohtani. And but you look at guys that have dominated in their first Bowmans are $5,000 or $6,000, $7,000, even at $1,100. This guy becomes a top 5 player in the league. It is a good investment card. It's just the fact that you've got the UCL tear, sprain, possible Tommy John right now. That's got everybody kind of up in arms and everybody worried about his future value. And the fact that I'm including myself into this, I'm including everybody in this room, that we have ADD in this hobby. I mean, so if we have to wait 16 months for Ohtani to come back, we're not going to think about him for 15 months. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be like, all right, who's next? Okuna.
Well, what's going to happen is that in 2 years, everybody's going to be going back to the 2018 products, and they're going to all but dry up.
Right.
So if you're a prospector on sealed cases and sealed wax, holding on to this stuff is not going to be the worst idea.
I don't know what the price is Bowman's at now. I don't know if it's going to be. I mean, I guess if it dries up a lot.
I'm not talking specifically about Bowman, but
maybe a 2017 product or 2018 product.
Yeah, maybe Stadium Club and Inception, Finest,
Yeah, Finest is a good one. Finest is a good one to hold.
But yeah, I mean, for the most part, I think we were talking about, somebody was asking if it's going to affect the market value of cases and boxes and future releases. We have already submitted our pre-orders basically throughout the rest of the calendar year.
Yeah.
We're probably doing pre-orders now for the start of 19.
Yes.
So that's these products are going to come out of the gate, and Ohtani, Tommy John or no Tommy John is going to drive these products for the rest of the year.
Yeah, and Topps, since they've lost their football license and they've been able to just focus on baseball cards, they pretty much have had like an 80 to 90% success rate in sell-throughs. So I mean, and with the momentum of Judge from last year, the Ohtani, there's going to be somebody else. And what these guys have done, what Judge and Ohtani have done for this hobby, is made the dream real. Like, these cards can sell for that much. Vegas Dave paying $400,000 for a Trout Superfractor made the dream real. It seems real. You don't see sales like that and go, okay, I could pull this in a modern box. You know what I'm saying? But now you've seen it happen, so everybody's looking for the next guy. So Bowman Chrome, there's going to be somebody that's coming out of there like the next Vlad Guerrero Jr. or something. People are going to prospect on. They're going to have an early hype, all because of what these guys have done. They've vacuumed everybody into the same category that is possible. And if you're a fan of the Giants, you're buying his prospect. So I think this year won't really be affected. The one thing that will be interesting to see is the Transcendent product, which this is off the top. I didn't even have this written down, so we'll talk about it.
I was thinking about it as well.
Because Transcendent was Chris Bryant. When in his rookie year, they had the Transcendent party, and it was Chris Bryant cards. He was there. Last year, Judge cards. Judge wasn't there, but Judge cards. So how do they sell it with Ohtani? Is Ohtani value protected? Can they sell a $25,000 product with a one-on-one rookie of Ohtani in every box?
I think that product is going to be more than it was last year.
I heard.
I think the retail price is going to be more. So, and they may make more cases. You got to assume the set that they're going to put in there is going to be Ohtani. If he's not playing, I don't know if he's going to be the one who would be at the party. Hard to say.
Right. Because you can't really interact without a translator.
But you gotta figure he will be the full complete set will be Ohtani cards.
Yeah, and Corey says, I don't have access to wholesale. This is a question from one of our listeners in the chat. We advise you to jump in and ask any questions on our chat while we're live and contribute to the show because it's good content and you guys have good opinions. He says, I don't have access to wholesale prices, but from a consumer perspective, Topps Chrome pre-sales have already cheapened. I spent $250 jumbo and $140 hobby a couple months ago, and now they're $10 to $15 less. What I will say to that is they started them real high. They started real high. I mean, we've talked about this on shows before that we thought crazy. And there's one big online retailer that's dictating all the prices, right? So that's making it hard for us to get wax. It's making it hard for you guys to get wax. So they used to sell Chrome $10 above cost. I will tell you that that's still $100 over a cost. So they come down another $50. They're still making $50 a box. So I mean, I don't know how much they're getting. I don't know. Maybe they paid up on some of it. Paid up meaning they bought it from another dealer at wholesale at a markup to sell it. I don't know exactly how they got their product, but they're starting real high based on the hype, and it's selling. So they've been justified having that price. So now they can be like, Ohtani's out. Let's put things on sale, and they're still winning. They're still winning because they're already so high, So that's my perspective on that. I don't know.
$250 for a jumbo and $140 for a hobby is insane.
Yeah. Well, he said they came down $10 or $15 after that. So you're looking
$135, $125. Yeah, $125 for a hobby is pretty expensive.
Yeah. But I mean, for good reason, because we had the hype for Ohtani. So that one, the Topps Chrome may be the interesting one to see because that's a rookie base set. So is there going to be somebody else that drives that one other than Ohtani? And you got to think the autos are going to be hard to hit if you compare it to Judge. I don't think we pulled one Judge all last year. We opened 30 cases. There was no Judge. There was lots of Joe Musgrove. There was lots of insert name here. There's a lot of the name that you'll forget about already because I've already forgot about it. There was a lot of those guys, but there was no Judge. So if they didn't load it with Ohtani, it may suffer. But we need some other guys to kind of come through on that and bump that value up. Now, the base do grade well, and the base have some value there too, so it's not always about the autograph with Topps Chrome, but it'd be interesting to see what happens with Topps Chrome with if Ohtani heads down the Tommy John route. So,
yeah, I mean, I think the question mark in releases, the obvious ones are the Bowman Chrome release, and the saving grace of the Bowman Chrome release is that they get a lot of international players, players that have not had any cards. There's a lot of, if you look past Bowman Chromes, there's a lot of players that come out of that set, and it's the only card they have.
yeah.
So that's kind of the saving grace for that. Topps Chrome, hard to say. If like people are like, oh well, they're gonna put like Juan Soto in there. Unless they had Juan Soto in there already when they were designing the product, he's probably not going to be in there.
Yeah, these products are planned 6 months to a year in advance.
So I mean,
that's why you keep seeing Christian Arroyo Giants autos, because he signed last year before he got traded.
So I don't know in Topps Chrome if there's going to be a rookie. They would have had to foreshadow that and see that this player was going to be one that was going to get called up or something like that.
Right.
And I don't think Juan Soto was on their radar.
Right. I mean, yeah. I mean, it could be maybe he makes it into the draft somehow. But those products, Chrome and Draft, are going to be fine because it's prospect based. So you're going to have another prospect that comes out. Draft, it was in my opinion, a pretty decent draft class. So you're going to have some guys that are major league ready that'll be in that draft product that'll carry that product. Chrome might be the one that might be an interesting one because there's no vet or legend content. I mean, you got Museum that's vet legend content. So even if Ohtani doesn't do well, you still have bat knobs or you have bat plates. You still have triple autos, dual autos, definitive, patch based, vet based, legend based. That's going to be fine. All those other products aren't really centered around rookies except for Topps Chrome.
Yeah, like the diamond icons and all that stuff is legend and vet based.
Yeah.
Granted, Dynasty patch auto of Ohtani, they're probably going to have him in there.
Yeah.
Pretty sick.
Yeah.
Going to be a pretty sick card. Going to be one of the top patch autos of Ohtani that you're going to chase all year. Same thing with on the other side with like Panini. There's probably going to be a lot of, now Panini does load a lot of their higher end stuff also with, vintage relics and legends and, current stars. But they're going to load, National Treasure should have Ohtani in it. Immaculate's going to have
baseball.
Ohtani. Now, the thing about Panini is I can see them including somehow like a Juan Soto into one of their products, because it seems like they have a little bit more moving parts in being able to add certain players
quickly. More quick. Yeah.
Where I think Topps, once it's kind of set, it's set in stone.
Right.
There's no.
Well, they'll supplement it with Topps Now. They'll get Juan Soto Topps
Yeah.
Now. They'll be able to ink that deal quick. So, I mean, here's an interesting. Before we move on from Ohtani Talk Series 2, would it be better? So here's the situation. So say he didn't get injured, but say he goes for 5-6 weeks, doesn't get a hit, gets blown up, 8 runs a game, 80 ERA. So is it better that he's shut down now than if he sucked for 2 months? So what's better?
I still think that Ohtani comes back and he doesn't hit. I don't know if Ohtani has a future as being a pitcher. That's what I think.
But he throws 101. He has the top 10 highest speed pitches this year.
I think there's more value in him being an everyday designated hitter in the lineup than being a pitcher who is starting once every 5 days. And then if you noticed, he was getting the next day off after pitching, so he
Right.
wouldn't be in the lineup.
You're right.
So you're losing even more at bats. I think he's more valuable as a guy in the middle of the lineup, playing every day, and not worrying about pitching.
Yeah.
And what about that? I mean, what if in 6 weeks they decide, hey, if he's going to pitch, he's going to need Tommy John. But if he doesn't pitch, he can still be an everyday player or,
Probably a DH, right?
DH, and he can still be in the lineup, but he's not going to pitch anymore.
Right.
I think if I'm the Angels, I take I want to get some production out of him right now, then lose him for 2 years that I'm still paying him for. So I can get him to pitch when he comes back. And who knows if he's the same pitcher when he comes back.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. I mean, but the fact that he does throw 100, I mean, if you watch, there was a documentary, Tony Gwynn was in it, a lot of the greats were in it, and they were talking about the 100-mile-an-hour fastball. The from 95 to 100, they say it's night and day. You can't, you're guessing on 100. So to have that in your arsenal, to be able to have that, I don't know
why his elbow's messed up.
Well, it probably is. Now, you can't usually go into your 30s and continue to pitch 100, so he's got a youth on his side now. Now, sideline for a little while, we don't know. I mean, the Angels are 37 and 31, so, I mean, they're in the hunt. So, I mean, if they were out of it, they probably would shut him down, but I think the fact that they're in it, he may, I don't know, there's still a chance. So, we just got to keep up on it, and we'll see what happens. Series 2 came out today, and I was talking about it in the chat. Series 2 is always that time that, like, you know, you got basketball ending. I mean, we had Series 1 that came out that reminded us, hey, baseball's around the corner. And then Series 2 comes out right after basketball season. So it's like, oh, yeah, well, only baseball. We're only watching baseball now because no other sport's really going on. Football's a couple months away. Hockey just ended. And of course, basketball ended.
Right in the middle of the MLS season.
And then, you know, we got World Cup. Yeah, MLS, who cares? But Series 2, it was refreshing to get into it today. Ohtani's in it, and it's Ohtani's base, which is, you know, usually parallels and stuff like that is one of the sought-after cards. He does have parallels. Early people are trying to get the out of the special packs that come with it. People are trying to get $100 for the blue number to 150. So those are pretty cards. We pulled actually that same card. Well, not that same card, but one like it today, and it's beautiful. So you got that, and then you got there's a lot of SSPs in it. That somebody's trying to get 1,000 for this SSP photo variation. There's two different. I think there's at least two different photo variations of the base for him. And then you've got Acuna in there as well, and him or Gleber are falling one per case. So it's kind of an interesting investment.
We got both of them.
You got a Gleber as well?
I got a Gleber.
Wow, I didn't know that. I must have not have been paying attention. Must have fell asleep. So those are going to be interesting because if they're that short printed, they're not one per box like the other guys. Those could be even worth more because they're going to be a lot more rare. You're figuring there's usually 6 in a case of jumbo, and there's only 1. So there's less out there. So be interesting to see what these go for if these guys are performing. The skies could be the limit. $50 right now could be a steal on that card because of the rarity that it would be. So
now, if they have regular, both Torres and Acuna, they have regular and update, like regular rookies, which they probably will. You think in the long run this would be the one that you want?
Absolutely.
It'd be
the first one.
Even though it's a variation.
I don't think they'll have a rookie card logo like that. It'll have a cup trophy or something. It'll be a different variation. They don't do 2 rookie cards in Top Series 1.
Yeah, I guess.
So my only complaint with the Gleber, I don't like cards that are that way. You know what I'm saying? I like vertical cards, not horizontal cards. So personally, so I like the Acuna better. I might be buying the Acuna, but Gleber plays for a big market team. I mean, a bigger market team than Atlanta. So I want to talk about Trout and his rising price. We're talking about this guy on the Angels named Ohtani, but the guy who's really destroying the league right now, and it's no secret, is Mike Trout. I mean, the guy's batting .310. I think he's got 23 home runs now, and his prices have just skyrocketed. I mean, Vegas Dave bought that Superfractor for $400,000. A base 9/5/10 2009 Bowman Chrome Trout draft, $7,800 with bids. That's not numbered. We don't even know how many of those were made. It's
crazy.
$7,800. So this is what gives you hope with Ohtani, that there's a card out there of the number one guy in the league selling for $7,800, and you got Ohtani at $800. So, and it's the same team. So the possibilities are there when this guy comes back. But Trout's cards are just, like I said, literally on fire. I mean, even a base, just a base card, $850 from 2000. It's a reprint. 2017 Topps Chrome, then and now. Base, not signed, $850. There's 13 bids on it. It's crazy. I think Buster Posies are like 50 cents a dollar. This, number to 60
that's
series,
ridiculous.
From update, not graded, $12,000. So there is Ohtani parallels numbered to, I think there's 67 this year because they go up every year.
Go through those base boxes.
Dude, I'm telling you. So, and that's from Series 1. That's out of a cheap hobby box. $12,000 card. That's insane.
I saw, remember that was the year where they had the diamond sparkle, right? Because the 1-of-1 diamond Mike Trout was pulled.
Right.
And but they also had those weird inserts that you'd get one in every.
Yeah, there were sparkle parallels.
Yeah, and I think I think every card in there has a sparkle parallel. I wonder what those go for. because those are one per pack. I mean, not Mike Trout one per pack, but you got to figure those have to be a couple $1,000s as well.
Yep. And then there's people taking advantage of this, which there was never any cards. This is for you guys listening on the podcast. The images here: a 2009 Bowman Chrome Mike Trout Gold Refractor Auto Rookie, and then the last word he puts reprint, so it doesn't even probably show up on your phone. And he made this. There was no Topps did not do a reprint of a gold refractor, and you get a screw down, which is tight. $20.50 for just a piece of cardboard, basically. That guy reprinted something on. This is a legitimate reprint from Topps. It was in 2013 Bowman, I believe, and I think one sold raw for $55, and somebody's trying to get $500 for a reprint. So I just wanted to give a public service announcement to be careful if you see a deal. Make sure it's not a reprint, because there's a lot of people trying to cash in on the Trout hype. All of a sudden, people are going crazy. Vegas Dave started this whole. I think Vegas Dave's impact on the hobby is more than we know. I mean, he made people realize that Trout is worth a lot of money, more than he was already. So people are all trying to cash in. So be careful. So does Torres speak English? Gleyber Torres? I don't know. That's a good question. So wanted to give a shout here. Ryan Friel passed away in 2012. His dad has been getting a hold of people on Twitter that he wants to put together binders for Ryan Friel's kids, his grandkids. So he has 3 daughters, and he wants to get a collection of cards for his kids, for his grandkids, Ryan Friel's kids. So there's, if you watching the video, you can send the cards to 3737 Corwin Street, Bozeman, MT 59718. And you can find the all over the internet. If you go to Twitter, you can just search Friel's dad, and you'll be able to find it. So if you have, I know we all probably have, I probably have some somewhere. Just find some Ryan Friel cards. He just wants his kids to have stuff to remember him by. And I thought it was pretty cool that he reached out to collectors. He reached out to people to try to get some cards of his dad. So he committed suicide in 2012. So left $3 behind, and want to remember him, for playing for baseball. So that, and Ovechkin is still partying. This guy is literally
Love that guy.
He's literally my hero. Anybody that wins a title should party like this. He's been on like a 4 or 5 day bender. He was jumping in a 6 foot or a 6 inch one of those fountains. He was doing keg stands with the cup. He was drinking at national games. He had so many empties it looked like a dorm room. It was ridiculous. The guy's just literally partying it up. I think he's still partying it up. He's my hero. I think like I said, everybody should party like this. My question to you guys in the chat and here is, what athlete would you like to party with? And you can't use Alex Ovechkin, because that's the low-hanging fruit.
Oh.
Who do you think, and funnest isn't a word, but I'm going to use it, who do you think would be the funnest athlete to party with?
I think Brian Wilson
Okay.
would be a fun dude to hang out with and party with. Little B-wees.
C-Rad, you got one on the top of the dome?
Yep.
Nick Young?
Jordan Bell.
Henny Bell. I got to go with Gronkowski. Low-hanging fruit there, too. But Gronkowski looks like a guy that can slam some back, take some shots, hang out all night. Trying to think, who else has been Charles Barkley, supposedly is a good time. Plays a lot of poker, a lot of blackjack. Throws down some sodas, I think. Big Chef says Pat McAfee, huh? Pat McAfee. Is that a punter? Former punter? Pat McAfee? Is that what I'm thinking of? Or am I thinking of somebody else?
Aubrey Huff.
Yes.
Pat
Aubrey
Burrell.
Huff. Yep. That would be fun. Dante Pettis. No. Can't say that on camera yet. Anyways.
Jared Goff.
Allen Iverson has a good time, supposedly, but I heard he gets real mad at casinos when he loses.
Jared Goff.
Former indie punter, yeah.
Dan, Sean Mannion.
Dan, what the heck is next to your glasses? Looks a bit funny. You have glasses? Oh, that's his protein water that he bought, but it does kind of look funny on the camera there. It's a butt plug. No, it's protein water, but he found out it had fish in it.
It has like some type of fish in it, and it tastes like fish, and it's disgusting.
So it's gonna stand there.
It moved over here, and it's
that's his nose.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It does
terrible.
It does kind of look funny now that I'm looking at
It's
it
bad
in the
man.
background.
It's
yeah.
bad. It's bad.
It either looks like a cross between a lava lamp and an air freshener.
I didn't want it
or a
near me because I didn't want to, be tempted to drink it again. So I'm letting.
What does
go.
it have in there that's fish?
Dude, I don't.
It says cherry vanilla. How do you get fish in that?
Peptides.
Oh, collagen peptides.
Peptides.
Wow. You can get some fat lips.
But-
oh, you're on the
but-
main screen now.
But right next to it says fish.
Nice.
Ugh. Yeah,
Sushi in a bottle.
it's gross. It's gross. And that doesn't taste like cherry vanilla at all.
Nobody else has any. Oh, Ric Flair, Corey says. Ric Flair, probably about 20 years ago, probably would be a
Andre
little
the
bit more.
Giant.
Andre the Giant drinks 20 beers. Or no, 100 beers, right? You drink 100 beers, they said.
Oh, we could say wrestlers? I thought we were talking about like regular athletes.
Anybody. we could open it up to anybody now. I wanna drink with Jeff August.
Shawn
I'm a
Michaels
drinker.
before he found God. I will say that one.
Before he found God. So we got Finest coming up next, guys. We're starting to show off after the show with a random. So get your spots in on that. Got a chance at Ohtani, and I guarantee it'll be worth more than the spot price. Only 5 left in that random team's Finest. $60 a spot. There's only 20 total spots too, so it's almost sold out. Getting your spots in now. I wanted to quickly talk about BGS, guys, and I don't have a slide for it, but BGS came out and they suspended their 10-day grading service. Their regular grading service. So if you're not familiar with BGS, it's grading. So you send your cards in, you get graded like the stuff that we were showing on the screen. You get your 9.5s, your 10s, your black level, stuff like that. The cards increase in value. So a lot of people use the service, especially for rookie cards, especially for Bowman Chrome, like what we've been talking about. But they suspended their 10-day service, and their regular service, which was normally 45 days, is up to 11 months. So you send a card in for like the $7 or $8 price point, whatever it was. You got to wait about 11 months. So hopefully you're not in a rush. But their 10-day, they're taking off for, they said, around 2 weeks. So they're not accepting any 10-day. You could still send next day in, I guess, and probably maybe 5-day. I don't know if they even offer 5-day. I got to look at their site. But immediately my reaction to that is that they are being transparent, and it makes them look legitimate to me because they have so much volume coming in that they can't just hire Joe Schmo off the street to grade cards or just pump them out without looking at them. So they do have some integrity there, I think. That's what I'm taking from it. If they can't just pump out these cards, obviously they're losing money left and right. They can't do the volume of what's coming in, and they don't have enough graders to get the cards out fast enough. So instead of just hiring somebody from Home Depot or whatever, they're putting off orders. They're saying no to your money to get the process down and get the cards out. So I like that rather than just putting 10s on anything. So I did some more research, and I found out what it took to be a grader because I didn't know. What does it take to be a grader? There's a guy that did an article on Beckett, and you can find it on Beckett.com, and it was the article was in I think it was like in 2013, but it's one of their head graders, and it's Andy Broom. He's a head grader, and he said he started collecting in '91. He was studying cards for years and hours, and he said somebody asked, what is a typical day like for a grader? He said, no matter how much you love cards, grading on a professional level is not for everyone. In fact, it is for the few who have the skills required and really want to do nothing else. The ability to laser focus in key in grading a card. You will see hundreds of thousands of cards, but you need to stay concentrated on the nuances of each one to be a good grader. You also have to adapt to different sports, years, companies, issues, and types of cards. For me, he said he's a vintage grader. I may grade an order of 100 T206 and then immediately switch to an order of 10 1975 Topps football cards in the next order. It may be tedious, but it's fluid. Things change from order to order. Some cards have to be researched. Some require the consultation of multiple graders. You have to have a wide spectrum of card knowledge. So it sounds like it's kind of a boring job. I mean, really. I mean, it's probably hard to stay motivated being a grader. They probably have some turnover there because they probably don't pay these guys a lot. I found another article. It was on the Net54 website about a guy who got offered. They flew him out there. He had a lot of experience in the hobby, and they flew him out there, Bill Sutherland from Beckett. This was back in 2011. So this was 7-8 years ago. And he was either going to be a price guide analyst, is that the correct English? Or he was going to be a grader. So I guess they offered him $35K for each job a year, plus $4,000 in moving expenses. And it wasn't enough for him to do it. Now that may be, obviously that's 7 years ago, so it may be more like $60K a year. But you think about that. And he said that they had, that he could no longer use eBay to sell anything. So they do have some restrictions in place. So they're, people talk about backdooring and stuff like that. They put these things in order and they have these guys sign these contracts they can no longer sell sports cards if they are a grader. So, and this is from an unbiased party. So, like I said, the 10-day grading sucks. You guys want to get your cards in 10 days. They're not offering it now, but I think overall, in a conspiracy-based business, because let's face it, there's a lot of conspiracy on Beckett Grading about how I'll pay you this much and you'll give me good. There's a lot of transparency issues here. I think by them saying that they have to push out orders, probably one of the most transparent things I've ever seen them do, because they're turning down money. So,
no, I get you. But they do need to figure out at least how to get it back on track, and I think that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to, just figure out a way to streamline it.
Yeah, sorting breaks can get you burnt out too. Probably similar, but not as much detail. You can kind of zone out and listen to a podcast. We don't recommend watching something, but you can tune out and just sort by team and stuff like that. But these guys they have to pay attention to every corner, every scratch, everything. So you really can't be probably. I would assume these guys have their own office or their own cubicle, because you can't probably be distracted doing that job. But I'd love to talk to somebody. Maybe we can find somebody at the National and get some info and insight on how the grading. Yeah. Well, yeah, if they're there, they're going to give us all the good news. If you find somebody that used to work there, they might give us some of the juicy stuff that happens behind the scenes. But I don't know what year it was, but there was an influx of grading companies, and there was a lot of bad ones. I think it was probably around the Griffey era, right?
Yep.
Probably around 91.
Yep.
There was like 35 grading companies, and there was some that were just like $5, give you 10, and it was Dan's Grading Company or something like that.
Hey, man.
BGS. So, well, we went a little overtime on the show, so we're gonna get back into doing Finest, and we got, like I said, we got breaks all day today. We have Father's Day pack breaks on Sunday. But today we've got Classics NFL. PY teams are on sale. We got an epic triple case that I don't know why it's not full. We got Greatest Hits, Classics, and 2011 Prime Cuts, or Prime Signatures. We got a Spectra NBA case, Dominion, Immaculate Multi today, and Luminance. Ending out the night with Luminance, which is, I wish I had more time to review Luminance. I love Luminance. It was a good set. Instead of having Prestige, doing Luminance was a good idea by them. So, but without further ado, we're going to end the show out. I'm trying to find my closing thing, trying to multitask. But thank you guys for tuning in to the Hype In. Check out mojobreak.com for your breaks.
And that's it. Thanks for watching this episode. Visit mojobreak.com for more info and your break spot. And we will see you next time on